So time for another video. In this one I am going to show you how to create a new experiment template. The main reason for this is so we can get a new template that does not have all the height on each of the parameters. Alright, so we will try to walk through this, and bear with me if I go slow. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is click New Experiment over here. Okay, and you're going to pick what you want to name it and where you want it to save. So wherever you've been saving it to is fine. I'm going to pick Desktop for now in Acquisition Templates, and then I'm going to call this Duraclone. You can call it Duraclone Tubes, Duraclone Panel, Ford Tube Panel, whatever you want to call it. So I'll say panel, and then I'm going to put today's date at the end of it. Okay, so there you go, and then we're going to hit save. Okay, so now down here you see you have tube 1. We're going to come up here to settings. Okay, we want to set our channels. Okay, so this is where you select or unselect anything you're not going to use. Okay, so I'm going to first scroll down, unclick all the ones I know for sure we don't want. And if you forget to do this, it's not the worst mistake. You just have to scroll through a whole lot of antibodies later on when you're looking at different combinations. 2, 3, and let's see, let's unclick that one. Okay, so you should have 5 parameters: FTSE, PE, ECD, PC 5.5, and PC 7. So that's good. So the next very important thing you want to do is down here, uncheck the box that says height. So they both are marked by default, so just click on it to deselect it. Okay. Another quick check that everything we do not want is unclicked. Okay, so that looks good. So now we can close. Now we're going to go back to settings and set our label. Okay, and this is where you can go ahead and type in what you want. So FTSE on this tube is the Kappa. And, oh shoot, sorry, bad fingers. Kappa, and let's see, it's CD8 FTSE, correct? Yes. CD8. Okay. The ECD on all of these tubes is CD45. On this tube, the PC 5.5 is CD3. Okay, PE is Lambda. And CD4. And then PC7 is CD20. Okay, so just double check. FTSE is kept in 8, 5, 3. All right, so that looks good. So we're going to hit close now. Okay. The next thing you want to do is click Acquisition Settings. Okay, and then this is where you're going to come and import from catalog. So you click that button, and then you find the proper settings you want. So I will pick these most recent for me. Okay, and then click Import. It's going to say the following channels were modified. That's fine. Click OK, because they're changing from the instrument default. So you want to see that message. And then just do kind of a quick look and make sure that's kind of what you've been seeing currently. Okay, and then hit Close. Okay, we're going to come over here and click the little compensation matrix. Okay, and you want to import your compensation. Okay, so this one will be, let's click those. Whatever your most recent compensation values are, select those, click OK, import matrix and gain. Okay, and then close. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is add some histograms. Okay, so go ahead and add one. And I'm going to click the little gray box up here, which brings up the screen, and I'm going to change the side scatter from linear to log. And it's fine if you don't, but it makes a difference. I've saved the previous ones with side scatter and log, so that's what y'all are used to looking at. So I would definitely try to remember to change it from linear to log for side scatter only. The forward scatter, always leave as linear. Okay, and I haven't run anything, and I actually didn't set anything up to run. So we're just going to kind of draw a random gate out here. Okay, and then whenever you do run a sample, then we can adjust this gate as fits. And I probably will have to do another video later to really go through that with you if that's at all confusing. Okay, so here's the forward versus side scatter. We're going to add another gate. And this time we want to look at 45 versus side scatter. And I just want to double check. Yep, side scatter is still at log. That's perfect. Can you see that? Yes, okay. And then any of your other fluorochromes you always want to be in log. Okay, so now we can draw another gate. And again, this will require adjustment when you actually run a sample. And this one, we're going to right click on your new gate. We're going to take the color off, say no color. And then we're going to edit the name and call this WBCs. Okay, and I forgot on this one here, we're going to right click on the gate and say no color. Okay. So there's that, and then I'm just going to add 4 more histograms, and then you can move these wherever you want. I like to have them all on the same page here. Okay, I forgot up here for WBCs, we're going to change this where it says Tube 1 All Events. Click on that, and then change that to say P1. So that way in here, you're looking only at events in this gate. And this is where we'll our first gate to take out any debris, platelets, junk, doublets, all of that. Okay, so from here we go to here. And then we're going to change all of these to look at WBCs instead of all events. WBCs. Okay, and so now I'm just going to put some different combinations of the antibodies. And again, how I did that, you just come here, side scatter, click on that, and then see what you want to start with. So actually I want to start with maybe 20 versus CD3. Okay, and since we're not analyzing here, I'm going to just kind of use a 4-quadrant gate instead of gating around things. And this will just give you a quick visual while you're actually running a sample. Okay, and we can change that from, so I double clicked on that. Here, so here just put the cursor above, double click, and say CD20 positive. Actually, we don't want to do that because we're going to copy this tube later. And CD20 won't make sense. Although it should work. Here, let's experiment. 20 positive. Okay, and then down here, double click on the Q1LR. CD3 positive. And just a reminder, I know you know this as well, but since I'm chatting, CD20 is mature B lymphocytes. CD3 is mature T cells. Okay, and so anything in here in this Q1 UR quadrant that's 20 and 3, that would be an abnormal population. Okay, so we also want to look at lambda and 4 versus kappa and 8. And again, we can pick the 4 quadrant, or you can put any marker you want. Again, collecting on here, we're not analyzing on the instrument, just a quick preview as the sample runs. Okay, so on here, you could then further change this if you draw gates. Here, let's do one more histogram. Where did it go? There we go. Okay, let's do WBCs up there. Do 45. And side scatter again. Okay, and this is where if you want, you can draw gates for, right click on it. And we're going to take the color off for now. You can add color if you want. Okay, and so that would be your lymphocyte gate. And again, these gates can be adjusted once you're running an actual sample. So you have to double click once you get to the end of your gate area. Okay, and these would be monocytes. Actually, maybe I will give these colors, just so I can confuse you more. Lymphs. Oops, and I'm going to change the color of the lymphs again to match the color scheme we use in our lab. Okay, right click. So grands we usually put as a dark green. Monocytes we usually put as like a maroonish color. Lymphocytes, when we're not distinguishing B from T, we actually use kind of a bluish. Okay. These are really, really super rough gates, and again, they're easy to adjust later. Okay, in basoblasts, we usually color red. Blast. Okay, so then if you wanted down here, you could look at all your WBCs and look at lambda and 4 versus kappa and 8 on everything. See, then here, instead of looking at 20 versus 3 on all WBCs, you could do it looking at your lymphocytes only, right? And then you could change this one to look at CD20 first. If you want, you don't have to, these are all optional. So there is, since it's CD20, you'd be looking at lambda versus kappa. Okay, if you do another one here, and then change it to CD3 gate. Okay, and then, okay, so now you're looking at T cells, since they're CD3 positive events only in your lymphocyte gate. So anything here would be either CD4 or CD8 or dual 4-8 or negative for both. Okay, and then down here we're just going to look at some of our other combinations. There's really nothing else on the tube 1 we want to look at though, really. Okay, so we'll just do that. We can leave this labeled as tube 1. Okay, so now to get the next tube in our panel, come over here to where it says new tube, single click there. Okay, so now you're going to come up here to settings again, and you're going to set the label. Your channels are going to stay the same, we just want to change the labels. Okay, and so then on CD2, tube 2, my apologies, it is CD5 FITC. ECD is still 45. The PC 5.5 is CD34. PE PE is 10, and then PC7 in this case is CD 19. Okay. Oh, nope, we don't want that. Cancel, close. Okay. All right. So here we can, well, we'll wait to the end to do that. All right, so now you see up here already that I entered something wrong because we have 45 and 10 in the same. So let's go back to settings and set label. Nope, that looks right. So what have I done incorrectly? Oh, okay, it's just, my bad, it's correct. It just has these extra numbers there, which you can ignore. 45, 45. Was it like that in tube 1? It was like that in tube 1 as well. Okay. So now you still, these will always stay the same up here. So now we need to double click that and change that to CD19 and CD34. And on this one, since it's 34, let's look at all WBCs. Okay, then you have 10 versus 5. We can change this. Let's see, let's change this one to lymphs, this one to lymphs. 10, 5, 10 versus 19. Oh, cancel. That's right. Get the same things on these. Okay, so we'll utilize this down here and do 10 versus 19. And then what else do we want to see? Let's look at just 34 versus side scatter. Okay, so there's that. So up here you have 20 lambdas, 19 tens. Okay, now we want to add a third tube. Okay, tube 3. Again, up here to settings, set label, and we're going to change our names up here now. Okay, so FTSE on this tube is 38. CD45 stays the same. 56. 7. And 33. Okay, apply. Oh, not apply, just hit close. Okay, and that's good. And one more tube over here, tube 4, settings, set the label. Okay, and we have this. And you can get these labels, remember, from, you should have copies of the product insert sheets, and that's where I'm finding the labels, is on the back. The front part tells you what's in it, and the back side will tell you, see, you can see 117 PE, 45 ECD. So that's where I'm knowing what to type in as the labels. Okay. 56. 5 is 14. 17. CD. Oops, not CD. This one is HLADR. And close. Okay, so there we have our 4 tubes. So those are labeled correctly. Let's see. This one, I saw that 33 did not have a CD in front of it, so I'm going to add a CD in front of that. Okay, 33, tube 2 is 19, tube 1. Okay, and so I added the comps to tube 1, and I think I added acquisition settings, but let me go ahead and check it again. Import. export. Okay, and close. All right, and then I want to come over here to tube 1 and right click. And I'm going to say apply acquisition settings to. Okay, they're all selected. So let's click OK. All right, so that should be good. Everything we need. Important things I forgot to change is up here. Events to display. Let's add a 0 to look at 10,000 events at a time. We're going to change this to 125,000 events in the WBC gate. Okay, and then you can leave that at 600 seconds or change it to 300 or whatever. Okay, and we're going to change the sample flow rate from slow to fast. Okay, and then let's do that for all 4 tubes. That's good. Events to record. WBCs. Fast. Okay, tube 3. Fast. And tube 4. Fast. Okay, so we should be set now that anytime now you load this template to run a sample, it will automatically save these parameters. Okay, so the next very important thing you want to do is do File, Save as a Template. Okay, and I'm going to go back to where I started a file. So for me, that's Desktop Acquisition Templates. And I'm going to open this folder, Jira Clone Panel 17 June. Okay, and I'm going to use the same name here. Although now, let's see, Jira Clone Panel. And in case you forget, it's up here at the top as well. Because of course I forgot what I called it. June 2019, and then we're going to hit save. Okay, so now you should be ready to run. When you are running a sample again, then you'd click here in front of tube 1 and add your patient number, whatever your ID is. And remember, you're going to have to do that for each tube. Patient number. Jeez. Okay, and then again, just make sure you go back to tube 1 when you're running the tube 1 and make sure that the antibodies listed here match the tube you're actually running. Okay, it's super important that you don't mix up the tubes. Alright, so then you'd be able to run your first sample, and as events are collecting, you could adjust these gates if you wanted, or you could just leave them as is and then wait, and when you load them into Kaluza for analysis, then you can do all of your gating adjustments. Because again, any adjustments you make here while it's running will not carry over when the data is transferred. Okay, so I hope this has been useful and not too confusing. As always, please, please, please let me know any questions or concerns you have. Okay, since I did not set up any samples, I'm just gonna do File, Close Experiment. All right. So there's that, and then next time you run any other ones, you could just do then like you have been, new experiment from template, and then select your new template there. Okay, now the other alternative to, oops, cancel. The other alternative to creating a whole new template is after each list mode runs, you could select tube 1, you can right click on it, and then you can export FCS file. You would come over here, click on the button that says FCS 3.0 high autofluorescence, and then down here uncheck the height button. Okay, so that way when it exports your file, it's only giving you the area parameter. So that cuts the file in half. Okay, so you would hit OK. And then it's going to ask you where you want to export it to. So you could do that to whatever file you've been saving at, or if you're sending it to a specific location to upload on your portal, wherever you want it to go there, you can just choose that and hit save, and it will re-export. Okay, so you would have to do each tube individually that way. So again, if you have any questions, please let me know, email or text, either way. Anyway, I hope y'all are doing good, and I will send y'all more videos in the future. Have a good day.